Hi guys, welcome to another episode of TeaTalk with Goodness. Usman, your number one real estate talk show in Africa. Thanks to each and every one of you who keep coming back every week to watch, to like, to comment, and also participate in the interesting conversations we usually have on the show. And I'm delighted to be here with you guys. Actually, this is our very first episode in the year 2023. Oh my God. So, hey, I think it's about time I say Happy New Year to all of you once again. How's the year treating you already? I guess it's fabulous already. I can see it around you guys. All right. So, for those of you who know about this show, you already know how we roll here. But for those who are new into the family, hey, welcome. This is one show you do not want to miss. And our culture here, we have to get a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a glass of water, a glass of wine, wherever you are, get comfortable, sit down, relax, and enjoy the entire show. One thing I promise is that after the show, you will not leave the same, meaning that you would have learned one or two things that will help you as a real estate investor in the Nigeria real estate market, irrespective or regardless of where you currently reside. So hey, shall we go ahead and have the tea as our culture? All right, let's go. Oh my, this is delightful. Last year, we informed you guys about how we're taking the show to another level. We started a different segmentation on the show. We're doing interviews. We started showing you around Lagos, touring Lagos with you, some strategic places. Now for the interview, we didn't do so much. And I told you guys, we're going to have professionals come on the show to discuss, to give you answers to all of your frequently asked questions, those things you want to be educated about, those things you're confused about. They're going to be shining light on them. And afterwards, you will no longer be confused. Starting with legal practitioners, surveyors, technical guys, engineers, real estate developers, etc., etc. So yes, and this year 2023 was starting with a banger. Yay! Are you guys ready? Because on today's show, I have with me a very vast experience legal practitioner. Do you hear me? I say legal practitioner. Now, let me not even say too much, because for us here, it's not about saying too much. It's about showing, it's about telling, and then let's just hear from my own mouth herself. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, meet my guest on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on the show. Hello viewers, how are you today? I am Sheifumi Ogunle, and I'm a legal practitioner, and I've been practicing for the past 12 years. Active practice.
Oh wow.
Thank you very much.
Oh wow. Did you guys hear that? She is an active practitioner for a decade and two. You cannot buy down on a bookshelf or in a store. You got it. Anyway, so let's go right into today's topic.
This is Lagos, a place where entire new districts are rising from the sea. A vibrant megacity whose pulse is felt as wide as its influence reaches. A discovery of opportunities at the heart of Africa. The fast-paced economic hub of Nigeria and a major financial center for the African continent. A city that dares to dream big. One of such audacious projects is the fourth mainland bridge, a project that will define the cityscape of Lagos. Upon completion, the 37 kilometers bridge will be the second longest bridge in Africa, with 3 toll plazas, 9 interchanges, a 4.5 kilometers lagoon bridge, and an eco-friendly environment. The centerpiece of the new Lagos is the Eco Atlantic, a city rising from the Atlantic, standing on 10 million square meters of land reclaimed from the ocean, and protected by an 8.5-kilometer long seawall. Echo Atlantic will be the size of Manhattan's skyscraper district. The evolution of Echo Atlantic will change the face of Lagos and open a new gateway for success in Africa. At the heart of the Lagos Free Trade Zone is the biggest port in Nigeria and one of the biggest in West Africa, the Lekki Deep Sea Port. The strategic location, flexible and optimized layout, and modern facilities gives Lekki Port a competitive edge over any other port facility in the West African region. The port will have significant economic benefits. It's expected to contribute more than $200 billion to the government exchequer and create 170,000 new jobs. One of the strategic master plan transport projects to be implemented is the Blue Line project, the first to be embarked upon by a subnational. The project is expected to boost the state government's effort to sustain its megacity status. The biggest rice mill in Africa and the third largest mill in the world. The Lagos State Rice Mill has a capacity to produce 2.8 million bags of 50 kilograms bags of rice yearly, while generating 1,500 direct jobs and 254,000 indirect jobs. With forward-thinking leadership, this city that never sleeps is gradually evolving to become Africa's model megacity.
So yes, let's go right into today's topic. Like, we're going to just dive down into it. You know, when you have a practicing legal practitioner in the building, hey, you should know that this is the time you're gonna obey your otita. Okay, sorry, you might not know what otita is. You're gonna obey your stood. You know, your comfortable cushion chair. And sit comfortably, and then do what? Listen to everything she has to tell us right here. Because today you are going to learn, unlearn, and get what? And get educated more about the real estate market. So we're going to be starting with this. Recently, in December actually, Lagos State government announced to us that they have awarded the Fort Milan Bridge project to the person who won the bid, and that this project is going to be starting off this year, 2023. What do you think about this project?
That's a very good initiative from the government. It's a good start of year, for the year rather. Here is densely populated actually, and we need some relief actually. You can imagine the kind of traffics on the road. And so if government is coming up with this kind of project at this time, I think it is just right in time. It eases a lot of traffic, going to work, getting back home, tension and stress on the road. I think that's very good.
Wow, I quite agree with you, because when I spoke about the project, exactly my thought, and I'm looking forward to the project actually commencing, because if you know that this project has been on for a while,
Yes.
over almost a decade, it's been in the pipeline for a while now. So if we can't wait to see this come into the construction kicking off, it will be amazing. Now, when she said here, she refers to the environment. That's the Agile Link Epe Access. That's what she
But
means.
remember, it's going to come with some pain.
Yeah, so speaking about pain, that news did not stop there. So they went further to tell us that this bridge construction is going to affect 800 houses, meaning that 800 houses will be demolished. What do you have to say as a legal practitioner?
True. There's no gain without any pain.
Okay.
And development must just continue. There's nothing that is static. But the truth of the matter is that some people will benefit positively. Others will not really, benefit negatively, really. But there will be some
Pain.
hitchy here and there. And that is the pulling down of those houses.
800.
But the truth of the matter is, if government don't do it, that means we don't want it. And I'm sure everybody wants change. But in all of that, government is not insensitive to these 800 owners of properties on that place. Government has two things they do. Most of the time, they relocate or they compensate. And if they have said that they're going to compensate,
yeah, they actually did.
They
said it that they are going to.
They will compensate.
Okay,
but compensation sometimes goes to the roots of the title of the property.
Yes, I was going to ask you this question that when government comes and say, okay, when we demolish the people affected by a massive project, they will be duly compensated. Do we really see that happening? That everyone involved is duly compensated? Or the other part is, who are these people that are eligible to this compensation?
Good. I like that word, eligible. The truth of the matter is, when government say they will compensate, they will actually compensate.
Nice.
But if the government do not know you, how do you come back to them for compensation? Okay. In other words, I'm saying that there must be a perfection of the title of your property. What do I mean when I say perfection of title? That means you are letting the government know that you own a property in this place, registering your property or your title with the government. So therefore, when we get to that stage of compensation, you have some documents to be presented to the government for them to be able to compensate you. Absence of those documentation might be a denial.
Like, Oyo is your case. That's what she's saying. Well, this is quite interesting because, I mean, for those who, most of our followers here know me for one thing. When it comes to acquiring a property in Lagos, especially some peculiar areas in Lagos, I say that don't buy land in some certain areas. There are some certain areas you might probably get away with it, not 100% right. But I mean, some certain areas don't even bother buying untitled. So you have heard it from her directly that if the government, I like the word where she said, if the government does not know you, how do they even want to talk about compensation? It's like a father that does not know that you are my son. How am I now going to call you my son? So knowing you means that you have to perfect. Now let's digress. Let's go deep into this title perfect. I like where this is taking us to. Now, when it comes to land title perfection and all of that, how does this even really work? Because I mean, have you seen a situation in your experience that government maybe peradventure compensated some people that did not, I don't know, maybe cases where they didn't perfect the title or something?
That's the only very rare cases. I don't even think it probably occurred or it had never happened.
Oh, wow.
But going back to that part, there are sometimes you acquire some property and you don't even have an idea the government is going to come around to that place. But like I said, development will always come up. They may not even think about anything in that area for some time. But over time, when things keep coming up, I mean, some areas has to be taken over again by the government. And that is why we talk about compensation. Now, in all of that, the truth is that when you want to perfect your title, you have to do that with the government. But most of the time, it is advisable that when you are doing such, you do with professionals that knows the nitty-gritty, the pros and the cons of all it has to take. These are documentations. And there's a tendency, you don't know about it, you've not done it before, you don't know what they give you, you may skip some of it. So it is better to get a professional involved, a legal practitioner for that matter, to be able to help you in the documentation, read everything that you need to do, fulfill everything that you need to do, and then you're at peace with your property.
I like that part, But I'm going to ask you a question that probably will sound contradictory to that. But I
Okay.
mean, let's let it out there. We're here to learn. I'm also learning here. You guys, not only you people that is learning, I'm also learning as well. So, when you say, the way Lagos is, the way Lance and Alausa is, some people say, oh, I know one guy in Lance, he's going to help me do this documentation. Are you, with what you said, are you saying that some guy, I know some lady that works in Lance cannot help me perfect my title, that he has to be a lawyer?
The truth of the matter is you have to be very careful.
Mm.
When they are not professionals, you can't hold them for, duping you,
Okay.
swindling you, and all of that.
Mm.
But as a lawyer, the profession is a standard one, and nobody wants to jeopardize his or her
Practice.
years as put in practice or in job. And the Lance people are just anybody in Lance. You probably don't even know their identity or know them in person. But a lawyer, a lot of people run away from paying the lawyers, but the truth is that you have to do it right.
Okay. Now, the extension of that question is, because on this job, I have seen lawyers, I've seen quite some interesting personalities, and we have some conflicting, just like human beings. There are doctors, there are doctors, there are realtors, there are realtors, there are lawyers, there are lawyers. Now, are you saying that it is everyone that is a legal practitioner that can handle perfection of title?
Absolutely not.
Hmm.
Others can have a trial. Some people, as a matter of experience, they have done it. Some surveyors, some other people, they have done it as a matter of experience. They know what to do, you know. But when anything goes wrong, it's only a lawyer
That's what
that
you
can
need.
correct it.
Now, my question really is, I like that, stating that, because you see some people, some people will say they do this and anyway. But what I'm saying is, are you saying that it is, how doctors, you have general practice, you have, when you and I were having a conversation off cameras, you remember how we met and how I was really interested
Yeah.
in you being actually a real estate, understanding real estate law.
Yeah.
So are you saying some lawyer that goes to court every day? I know you go to court and you also do a lot of real estate documentation, all of that. But some lawyers have never really done anything that has to do with real estate. Are you saying such a lawyer, I'll just pick up that kind of lawyer and say, go and perfect my title for
In
me?
that stead, you must know lawyers who, are vast in this. They must be vast in it.
Thank you.
For you to be able to give them.
That's the education right there. So that
because
someone will not just.
you are putting a lot of responsibility on them, and they have to deliver.
Thank you.
Yes.
So you don't just, have headache and then go to a doctor that treats the heart to treat your headache, or you have a heart condition and then you're going to someone that only knows about malaria, general practice. So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with a lawyer, please be sure that the lawyer is versed. That's what you use. Versed in the particular area that you require the service. A divorce lawyer, don't carry a divorce lawyer that is versed in divorce and come and do. My cousin is a lawyer.
No.
But you don't know that your cousin is a divorce lawyer.
It goes beyond that.
I be married counseling lawyer. Is that a married counseling lawyer? Anyway, let's get back to the conversation. We're gonna get used to me very soon. Now, thank you so much for this clarity. All of this, it's getting very interesting. Like I said, I'm also getting myself educated. Now, coming to land title, perfecting land. Anytime as a realtor, as a professional realtor myself, anytime I hear the land perfecting it, I feel like that's the alpha and omega of the whole Lagos State. It's really hard to get it, Anyway, now, if I buy a land, so we sell all of these properties with real estate developers. I don't do Omonile land. I do strictly real estate. Now, I want you to share your thoughts with us on the later on what you think about that. However, because you lawyers now, kind of situation is what you guys do. Even if it's Omonile, you will root everything. You will use the law to do everything. You guys are very powerful because the law is your tool to get it. However, but for me as a realtor, I don't want to do money. I cannot stress my life. I'm not a lawyer. Can't do stress. Anyways, we sell real estate. They buy property from a corporate entity. Now, the competency has perfected the title of the land. They bought maybe a government land, the government allocation, and then they got their seal over in their name, or maybe even got a governor's consent. Now, when my clients buy, sometimes we advise these clients not to necessarily go and perfect the title in their own name. That since they're buying it, because a lot of them sometimes buy this land, especially for land banking, just holding it so that they can flip it in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What do you have to say?
There's a slight difference between having an individual property and having an estate.
Okay, educate us.
If you have an individual property and you buy, of course, before you buy, you do your due diligence. You must be sure that there are no encumbrances on the land. And after that, it is mostly advisable that you do your perfection of title within a year or two, so that if in case there's still any other thing hidden in there that you probably did not know or see during your due diligence, then you can discover. But in the space of the estate, it is another ball game entirely. For you to have an estate, you must do everything in total before you even start the estate. There are prerequisites for you to meet up with the government for you to have an estate. It goes through registrations. You register the name of the estate. In registering, you do all your survey plan. You do your, most of the time they even do CFO. I am very little one of them we you see doing governor's consent. They do a CFO.
Yes, yes.
And then when you do that CFO and you, sell those properties, there is a high tendencies that buyers are safe.
Okay.
There's a very high tendency that the buyers are safe.
Okay.
But be that as it may, some people still want to go a step forward,
of course,
to do a governor's consent. But precisely, it is not for keeping the land or be sure that there are no more encumbrances. It is for them, not for the estate. Because if there is a problem, it is a chain. It doesn't stop on the table of the buyer. So if there's a problem, it's not just the buyer that faces the problem. It starts from
the company.
So it's a chain thing. So honestly, so many people buying estates are probably would not really have to. But there's one or few other reasons why anybody could go a step forward to do
their title. So would you want to share?
And yes, and that is for future references. Maybe you're a businessman and you want to borrow some money, take a loan from the banks or something, you can use that, because of course the estate will not give you the whole CFO of the entire estate. So for you to say that you have a property that you can use in, as a legal,
a reference,
a reference, or to as an assurance that you're going to pay back, then you can use that. So precisely, it is for individual use, not so much
of security about the land.
Too much security, or you just want to do it so that you feel a lot of relief.
Yeah, because I've come across clients who they're very particular. Once they're buying, they want to perfect. They want to, they want everything just to be perfected. And I'm like, okay, if I'm the one, I probably might not worry myself. But thank you so much for shedding light to it, because I always want to know the legal implication of these things that we do.
So it's an extra document, and it's just fine. Okay. It's just fine. And then you don't know when you can probably need it. So it's just okay.
If you can.
It's not a do or die.
Okay, so I have a lot of clients who have bought from me, and I have a lot of people who didn't even buy from me, but they bought land, houses from these real estate developers. Now, I want them to hear from you that you have established that if they don't perfect it, they're not in any form of trouble.
No.
Because we believe that someone who bought a land had gotten the CO would definitely have gone through the necessary and all of that.
Yes, that's why I say it's a chain.
Yes.
The moment they have a CFO, if in case there's any issue,
they'll still go back.
It still go back from there.
All right.
Yes.
So that established what we have been saying as realtors, that it's better they buy from a company and they buy a titled land. Now, the other part is, if they are not out there to, maybe future reference, getting a loan, using it as collateral and all of those things, you don't have to perfect your title,
really
because
doesn't matter.
if you why spend extra money if you
Yes.
want to flip the land in 2 years, 3 years? Why are you going ahead to perfect the title?
There's no
To
need
me,
for
that's
it. There's no
exactly
need
that's
for
what
it.
I want to say to
The
you.
CFO, the estate developer had gotten, and every other document in addition to it is sufficient.
So there's no need you doing that. And of course, when you're coming, that's why you see that in when you're signing your contract of sale, they say it that they charge you subcharge. Now, in the most of the contracts of sale, we say that when you buy a property into with an estate, that you have to come back and pay them subcharge when you're transferring the title to somebody else, or you're transferring you're selling it off. From what you have said now, can you buttress? It seems to me that what you just explained is buttressing about the chain, and other is buttressing why they are charging. Can you explain that? Your own understanding legally.
Remember the fact that it is an estate developer. For every owners, I mean, as the chain goes on, if I have a property and I decide to sell it, they must know that there's a change. That is one of it. Secondly, there are still some perfections that they need to do in the new buyer's name. And these things are not free. They are not meant to do it on their own volition. You are going to, I mean, get the end use. So, I mean, for you to be able to stand firm and say that you have duly purchased this, there should be some documents of transfer. And these are documents from the government, not just the usual agreements that we do, you know. There are some other documents from the government too that establishes that title, and then you need to pay for them.
Okay. Yeah. One thing I'm so sure of is when it comes to changing, even if you have an agreement, you have a document legally, and you have to change it from maybe remove an S or just one name, trust me, you're going to pay. It's a different document.
Definitely.
One letter missing is a different document. So
it's like that in
so it further explains why some people say, "Oh, why in my contract?"
Sorry, please.
Okay.
Yeah, because the changing takes you to get some forms. You're gonna fill some names. You're gonna change. I mean, there are documents you have to fill, and these documents don't come free.
Okay.
You have done it once, so for you to do it in another time, you have to. It's just like going to the bank. If you finish a checkbook, you have to pay to collect another check.
Oh, I like that.
Though that it's still your account.
Oh, yeah. I like that part. Now let's start rounding this up, because I don't want it to be too long. Even though it's going like it's going. You know,
I'm enjoying it. I still want to do a lot more.
You know, when I'm drinking my green tea.
Yeah, but be sure we'll come back again for
of course, we'll definitely come back. But this guys, this 2023, this is a partner you're gonna see for a long time. So go ready to be more educated about her and so many others that we're going to bring in on the show. But let's still, I mean, we can't overemphasize on this land title, the perfection. I mean, it's the, I feel like it's the alpha and omega of every transaction.
Absolutely.
in real estate. Now, we're talking, we've been talking about land perfection title with land. We've been talking about land. Is it the same thing you've explained when it comes to land is what happens to a house? So I purchase a house, yes, off land from a real estate company.
Okay.
And then the land at which the house is sitting on a land, and they have a sale, so it's the same process.
It's the same thing. The only good thing is they have helped you to build the land.
The house.
I mean the house, sorry. And then you pay for the building. If you choose to build yourself, yes, you have opportunity. They don't build all the houses on the estate. So they allow you opportunity to, build for your own taste. And if you don't mind, like somebody like me that don't want stress of the bricklayer, the carpenters,
oh
the
my God, please, let's talk about it.
Then you just buy a already made houses. And then one other good thing about them is you have installmental payments.
Yes.
Right? So I mean, they can take stress off you, and that's a good part of it.
So the perfection of the title when it comes to a house or a land is about the same process for you as a lawyer, right?
Same thing.
Okay. So now the other thing I want us to further still look at is, speaking about the demolition, how you would have perfected a title and all of that. So if I bought a land now from a company A,
okay,
And then now, company A calls his estate name XYZ.
Okay.
Now, government has said that bridge is gonna pass inside XYZ estate, and I have bought inside XYZ estate, but the CFO is not in my name. It's in the name of me, company A. What is government going on? How do we go about this process?
The onus is on the estate's developer.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
He bears the
Title.
brunt of what he needs to do, either to get some compensations for his people, or get another estate where he's going to relocate them, or there's so many things he's going to do. But he bears the brunt. You are relaxed. No headache from you.
Hola.
Absolutely.
Wait. I do not hear that correct.
No headache from you. I mean, no headache.
Wait. Why will I relocate if I wait? Let me speak as a developer now. This moment, please. I'm not a director. As a developer at my estate, I do not know that government is gonna pass through. They now pass through. They're not telling me to relocate to Kini. Even more relocate to Molo. Where is gonna be at the risk?
The truth of the matter is,
I can only relocate. I think they can only relocate if I got compensation from the government. But body compensation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it is the estate.
Okay, it's on them to go get the compensation.
To go and negotiate with the government. Whatever the outcome of the negotiation is what he brings back to you.
So if I say that I've not been on good, sometimes you buy property from this developer, you start living there, and then you're not in good terms with them, or they're no longer facilitating the place and all of that. You have a good whatever with them. So it's Oyo is my case.
No, I'm sure if their agreement, they should have some agreements
of course
that they do with there are some clauses in there that state out things like that. That if in future days there's government taking over the land, or there's some one other two reasons or the other, that this and these are what they would do. But like I said, it is an assurance that the person buying the property is at rest because it's bought from them. And they will take all responsibility.
Hopefully that they take
whatever happens.
Hopefully.
And then all of it is all negotiations, because you look at it in a way that, assuming that was your personal land and such happens, what do you do? So it's all about negotiation.
Yeah, I like
they will negotiate on your behalf. And I'm sure they will come to you with very good terms.
No, I like the word negotiation, because I mean, it's funny how I use it all the time with my clients and say, even when they read some clauses in their contract and they're like, no, they must. I say, see, even when you get to that bridge, it's all about negotiation. Yes. I always say that investors should always see these real estate companies and the realtors as partners.
Yes.
When you buy a property from a real estate developer, from my own standpoint of view, you can please back me up. Tell me what you think as a legal practitioner. I feel like you're in partnership with that person forever.
Absolutely.
So, and at every point there will be itches and all that, but just have it at the back of your mind that it's a negotiation.
Yes, even if you get an individual land, there will still be itches too. So it's general.
Okay. It's general. Thank you so much for blessing us with all of these in-depth explanations.
My pleasure.
Yeah, because I mean, this is the very first time I'm understanding the processes that it goes through. We just hear they compensate and we just say, all of those rancors come around.
Funny enough, before the compensation, the surveyors are also invited in all of it. It's a lot of work actually. Surveyors will come in, they will,
check
estate valuers will also come in. They will see if you have not even expanded more than what your land is supposed to be. They will show that your land is what is drawn in the lands, and then estate valuers will come. They will value the the amount of the house, and all of that. So many things
documentation
go underground. At the end of the day.
Oh wow,
this is a lot of work. A lot. So it's burden even on government to say that they want to demolish. It's not like something that comes like a child's play, but they have to do it for development.
For the good of the old citizens. Now, so we've been talking about this part for someone who bought with a real estate developer and had not perfected the title in their name. So now, if I bought from company A into XYZ estate and I've perfected my title, so company A had C of O company covering the estate. And I went a step further. My 2 plot, I had gotten my governor's consent.
Yeah,
At that point,
go.
what happens? I will be the one to interface with the government directly?
No, they will still be. That's why I say it's a chain.
Huh. Yeah. So it's like we're married forever.
I'm telling you, it's
no
a
divorce.
Chain. It's a chain.
Oh wow.
But it's a lot of security for you.
Yes,
it takes a
yes,
lot
of course, of course.
It's a lot of security.
Of course, of course.
Until and unless you transfer your interest in that property to somebody else's, and then you are disengaged. Until then the next person
in that marriage, and there's a second wife.
I like that.
Husband.
So the next person, takes over.
Ah, okay. So you see, some of my clients, I'll say, when there's a small issue, I say, calm down. This journey is for life. Be calming down. Party A and Party B, you guys are married and joined in holy matrimony. Goodness is the priest.
Yeah.
And nothing was in this marriage. So you gotta, be on the same page at every time. I always believe that there's nothing that cannot be resolved. I go through life
even
with that mentality.
If you get to the courts, there are always times we are still given opportunity to go through ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution, where parties come together and see the likelihood of resolving out of court. So if the court also allows for negotiations and resolving, then what are we talking about? So it means negotiations at every level.
Nice. So either way, what I get out of this is, whether you perfected your title when you buy from a developer or not, you still need them, because it is usually a chain. I mean, like when you're buying from Omini, they'll say, go and find out the history of the land. Who owned it before? Where did they get it from? Just like most of these real estate developers, when they don't buy the land from the government, they buy it from the family, they still are tied to the family.
Yes, where I will agree with you as well is in their agreement to you, their first few paragraphs still tells you how the title is. As a matter of fact, there are some times that a developer buy from another developer.
Yes, I've seen cases like that. Because some people use a certain name to buy bulk from maybe a government or bulk, and they bought it and then they spread it to another developer.
So in that, if the initial developer had done a CFO, he only lay
foundation,
on that CFO, and probably if he gets another more title, it's still. I mean, that's why I say
a chain.
It's a chain. It's actually a chain.
This is an interesting one for me. Some of the things we've discussed today, I know some of them, but I don't think I don't know in depth into what we just discussed. And if who is in the business, who is always trying to get my hands wrap around how it works and staying on top of how it works, because it's one thing to know what works that has been outdated, it's another thing to actually stay updated. So yes, how much more viewers at home who are investors, whether existing investors or intending investors, how much this has impacted them. Thank you.
To be up to date at all.
Thank you. Now, in wrapping, what I want to ask you is, so they said the Fort Milan construction project will start this year, and so obviously they will start demolition maybe this year, at the end of this year. When do these people that are affected, when do you think this compensation will come?
Wow, that's a loud project. It's a big project.
Yeah.
Financing and even executing. So we hope that the government, they also want change. And I'm sure for them to start it, of course, we're going to finish it. So we just look forward to a good and reasonable time for them to get
compensate. So compensation can take this life?
Not, of course, not that. But like I said to you, there's so many things that goes into it. So, but I'm sure people, I mean, there will be a way they will go about it. Some may decide to have a lawyer to represent their interest. I mean, they could divide it into segments. They could do individual face-to-face with the government.
I think at this point it's better hiring the services of a professional
that's the best thing,
lawyer, because I mean I wouldn't have the time to do.
It is more advantageous and it could be speedy,
So it's more so now, even I haven't thought about it now. It means that it's even more advantageous for those that have a marked that is inside an estate. So if the estate comes together as a body to fight everything,
that is it. See,
okay.
When you have many people doing things together, it seems like faster. It seems like quick, you know, than if you run the race alone. You understand? I mean, there are appointments upon appointments upon appointments, you know, and then you have somebody that you pay and represents you. And then you are still at ease, but you want to get information from time to time from the person who represents you. And that's it.
Wow.
And it will come at the end of it.
Wow. Wow. All right, thank you so much. We just have to put it a stop here. Trust me, this land title, land perfection, and all of that, it goes all the way. So we're going to have a follow-up on this conversation, absolutely, but not regarding the demolition part. This was the demolition is what got us here, but we're going to treat land perfecting. How does it work? Which areas in Lagos should you buy on title land? Should you not buy title land? You know, Ekpe is now the new Lagos too. A lot is happening there. We're going to see
a lot is really happening.
You guys should just sit back and relax. We're going to be bringing so one gonna feli maro. And some problem was seen that are beginning to arise in some places that people don't know already. We're going to be bringing insights to you and then advise you from the legal point of view on what to do, how to be safe. Because I believe that when it comes to real estate investment, the reason why you're investing is to get return on your investment and avoid being scammed, right? So if you avoid being scammed and at the long run you still lose your money, it still does not make any sense. So it would be good to be safe from all forms and on angles. So thank you so much again. I like to call up Barrister Sheifumi, but she said they don't call them barristers, but we call you guys barristers. What does that even mean?
You're at liberty to call whatever you desire.
She said, no, I'm a legal practitioner. Not a when I said barrister Sheifumi, she said, not exactly. It's you guys that like to say barrister. We're not addressed as barristers. That's the first time I see someone correcting me. Now when you say barrister, so open their head will just do
I can imagine. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Guys, help me thank her. Help me appreciate her. For her to get to the studio today, it took her so many hours.
It's my
traffic, the first scarcity, get drama we've been going through since November.
And that's why we are appreciating the Fort Milan Bridge.
Yes, so that it's going to discongest. And I hope that they can do something about this fuel scarcity. It's crazy. I mean, I bought for 250,000 naira per liter because I want to go and do inspection.
It's really sad.
It's
entering
funny.
Into the new year with such
I mean,
hustling and posting.
I even heard some people bought more than 250 naira, and only few stations sell at 190 or 169. Very few. And for us that were always on the road, and so there's so much traffic. What you're supposed to do?
I'm sure the government will do something.
They should. I beg. It's lingering too much. I beg. They should do something. Anyway, that's by the way. So for those of you who are not in Nigeria, you probably don't know, but this is what we've been going through in the last 3 months, and that's why it's quite challenging or funny sometimes when some people, when you're asking them critical questions, when they want to come for inspection, you know, you're not asking them critical questions. You're trying to know if they really want to buy the property or they're just window shopping. Because I mean, really, we don't charge for inspection fee. But when we start charging, the same people that will come and frown at it. I mean, it's not funny when you have to buy fuel at 250 naira per liter. I hate black market. I hope I don't get to the point where I have to just do black market. So it means that most of my stuff will have to. Sometimes I have to queue myself. Sometimes I myself have to queue.
I personally don't do black markets.
We just even LD for your car. You're
not even sure of the fuel. And your car is at stake.
So the process, I will queue. Sometimes I'll take one car queue, ask my staff to go and queue with another car, tell my sister to. By the time we'll spend like 8 hours, eventually not buying at 250 or 199. That's a lot of time wasted. And then somebody will not see someone and just come and use that fuel, and then eventually just ghost you, don't answer you. I mean, please, this year, let's be guided. Anyways, I just said all of that to appreciate that you guys can appreciate that. Aside that time, she had to spend a lot of time in traffic because of this old fuel scarcity, and of course, even fueling in her car, it has to be extra. And she still made it here.
Do that at any time because our people need to be educated.
Thank you.
There are so many people that do so many transactions in a vague manner, and they don't know. But they need to begin to know, so that when they know, they'll do it right.
I believe in that, and that's what I stand for as well.
Yeah.
I'm here to guide people to make sure that they don't do the wrong thing, because
Absolutely.
like you usually say that there's no ignorance under the law.
Absolutely.
The law is the law. Nobody, they won't give you a pass or say, oh, I'm ignorant, I didn't know. Well,
If
the
you
law,
don't know,
you should have asked.
get somebody who
that
knows, and that can let you know.
Exactly. All right. So thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, finally, we are at the end of today's episode. Trust me when I tell you that you will be seeing more of Barrister Shay from, even though she doesn't like being called a barrister, on this show. We're going to be diving deep down into those nitty-gritties that you need to know, those things that people, we're not going to be doing surface that maybe everybody's doing. We're going to be talking about, the real areas you're affected, and those things you need to guide against, so that you don't lose your investment 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 15 years down the line. Real estate is amazing how you can live it for generations. So people don't even know that what you're doing now is on the surface. In 5 years time, there are implications to what you are just doing and all of that. So we're going to be bringing a lot, but this is what you also need to do for us viewers that at home, investors, intending investors, existing investors, even if you're a realtor or you're a real estate developer watching us now and you just have questions, you want something you want to be enlightened about, you want to understand certain things, please put it in the comment section. Let us suggest to us what you want to hear, so that I can send it to her, and then we can come and discuss it for you guys. You will get answers. Anything so far that is under the law of the Nigeria as a country. So yes, put it in the comment section. Do us a favor. We will be attending to all of this. If you don't tell us, we will not know what you want exactly, because we want to help as many as everyone. We don't want to provide generic. Yeah, there are generic solutions, but we want to provide a tailored solution, while others learn from it as well. So once again, thank you so much for everyone who has watched. My name, of course, remains Goodness Usman. I am, of course, your fat lady realtor for Nigeria 24/7. I am the queen of landlords maker, and of course, your amazing, delicious, beautiful, fabulous, what again, magnificent, host on this show. So I say to you guys that until next time when we come your way, because we're going to clear very shortly in the next episode. But until then, ensure that you watching us, you remain safe and awesome, just the way you are. So as we say to good guys, oh, damn.